afternoon. My name is Yasmin Romulus, and I will be presenting today Sexual Fluidity of Sexual Orientation between Men and Women. What does it mean to be sexually fluid? Really? Here is a 3-minute video presenting the definition of sexual fluid.
When Mama comes, she's gonna babysit you, okay? And Mama's gonna go where?
At Mama.
I'm having a grown-up date?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay, just a grown-up dinner? Alright.
The first time I got married, I was 18. That didn't last. Shocking. Fast forward to 3 years ago, and I got married again. And we were not dating very long when I got pregnant. And we both wanted to do right by our child, but that didn't last. You can't really get married for the wrong reason and expect it to last. I never explored my sexual fluidity before this last year, so I've been with men. And I've had really serious relationships with men. A lot of it was great. A lot of it wasn't so great. And I think I was also kind of taught to believe that I needed a man.
You're okay with Mommy dating, right?
Because I want another brother
You want me to date so you can have another brother?
and another baby.
I'll have to get busy. I went to like a lesbian night. Women came up to me and were like, so are you gay? Are you straight? Are you bi? I'd never had an answer. I don't know why I had to choose a team. I just saw her picture and was like, oh, hey. I just immediately thought she was so funny. I was just smitten right away. So I did the unthinkable and I followed her before even swiping right. I was just like, even if it's just this, that I just get to watch your funny videos, she's a comedian, that's fine.
Here are the required reading for today's presentation. Kat Wise's 2015 Exploration of Sexual Fluidity in Young Women and Men. Before I begin, I would like to say today's question. Using the PolitiFact scale based on today's presentation, how would you rate the statement, women simply have a greater capacity to be sexually fluid than men? I would like to begin with a couple terms explained within the study. Kat Wise explains sexual orientation as the enduring pattern of or disposition to experience sexual or romantic desires and relationships with one's same sex, other sex, or both sexes. Gender difference refers to the biological difference between men and women, usually genitalia or genetic differences. Bisexuality is referred to romantic or sexual attraction to two genders, specifically male and female. Same-sex attraction are romantic attractions or desires for the same sex. Sexual minority refers to a group of people whose sexual orientation, gender identity, or sexual characteristics are different from the presumed social norms, which are male or female heterosexuals. And last but not least, sexual fluidity is referred to the sexual responsiveness which allows individuals to experience changes in same-sex or other sex desires over both a short period and long period of time. Cat Wise is 2015. So what did they do? Cat Wise investigated sexual fluidity, attractions, and sexual identity and sexual minority within young men and women, and investigated these associations with specifically dimensions of sexual orientation, identity, and development. In order to do this study, they recruited a sample of 199 students, 124 females and 75 males. They were young adults, age ranging from 18 to 26 years, and they were born between the years of 1984 and 1992. Method. The participants were to meet 3 criteria in order to be eligible for the study. The criteria were they were to identify with non-heterosexual orientation, preferred not to label their sexual orientation, and experience any past of same-sex attraction. The participants were recruited from colleges and universities within the state of Wisconsin. Procedure. The participants completed an online questionnaire, and all participants were entered into a contest to receive a $20 gift certificate to Amazon. The study measured sexual fluidity and attractions and sexual identity, romantic and sexual attraction, sexual behavior, and sexual identity development and demographic measures. So what did they find? According to this image here, this is table 3 of Cat Wise's study, which compared sexually fluid and non-sexually fluid young women and men on sexual identity and sexual behavior. As you can see here, there is, as when measured sexual identity and sexual fluidity, between the sexual fluid women and non-sexually fluid women, there was a significant distinction and a non-significant distinction between sexually fluid and non-sexually fluid men. As well, when measured sexual behavior and sexual identity, there were a higher rate of sexual fluid and non-sexually fluid women when compared to non-sexually fluid men and non-sexually fluid men. And as well as they compared sexually fluid and non-sexually fluid young adult women and men on attraction and sexual identity developmental milestones. As you can see here, the measures of same gender attraction, same gender sexual encounter, self-labeling, questioning, all were significant. Pause. Limitations. The first limitation of the study is self-selection. The students were to self-report themselves within the questionnaire, and the students do not always report honest past experiences. The second limitation was that the research on men was limited due to the big amount of female samples. The third limitation was that the study was done in the state of Wisconsin, yielding the different rates of sexual fluidity all over other states. Last, the study recruited college students of a higher education, meaning those with the less education may have different rates of sexual fluidity. So in conclusion, to rate my discussion question, which compared sexual fluidity men and females, I would rate the question as false because the study here demonstrates sexual orientation groups as continuously shifting and changing. Although the study did not find gender differences of sexual fluidity and attractions, it suggests that this process, in fact, is not only unique to women. Also, it suggests that these notions of sexual orientation may not be accurate for all individuals.
Dude.
Tell us about your podcast. It's called The Love Bomb.
The Love Bomb,
and
yeah.
what goes on this podcast?
But lots of explosions, really. It's a open conversation with people in my life, some who I've been in relationships with, some who I, look up to in a lot of different ways, and we're just having conversations about love, sexuality, relationships, gender identity, and I don't know, how everybody's an individual.
And you're very open and honest. I mean, you came out recently as being sexually fluid.
Sexually fluid.
What does that mean to people who don't really understand?
It means I can do whatever I want, whenever I want it. And I don't really have a problem with it. Yeah.
Don't judge.
Yeah.
But I love it. You say, too, coming up for you, for whichever, you just are who you are. It was never a big, you've always just been you. It wasn't like a big discussion with your parents or grandparents.
Yeah, I think we just kind of have to take the weight off of it a little bit. Look, it's 2016. We live in a beautiful country, right? And there's a lot of crazy stuff happening, but I still love where we live, And I think that everybody has the right to do what they want and be the person that they want to be, as long as it's affecting positive change in the world.
So you've been with men, you've been with women. Is there something you love about men or women more than the other?
I just love people, man. That's it.
Who's more difficult to date?
Come on.
Women.
I think
Totally.
I encourage you all at home to think about this discussion next time you come across this topic. Have a great day and thank you for watching.